Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to talk about why 2021 is a great time to be a Doctor Who fan. Because there's so many good things happening in Doctor Who right now. Now I know there's a few of you who might not like where the show is right now, might not be pleased with the Whittaker era, might not be the Doctor Who you're used to. But you know what? Even if you're not a fan of the Whittaker era, it's still a great time to be a Doctor Who fan because there's so much going on in Doctor Who right now. We have the collection box sets coming out for Classic Who, which is the best Classic Who has ever looked. If you look at some of the seasons we've already gotten, these stories look phenomenal. It's amazing what they have done to improve the picture quality on these. They look so good. We have all the behind-the-scenes material, hours and hours and hours. You can tell they put their hearts and souls into these because the people who make them are also fans of the shows themselves. We are getting the limited edition steelbooks for the modern series, which I have here as well. They're doing these beautiful steelbooks. It looks like they're going to do the whole modern series in those, which is wonderful. We are getting limited edition steelbooks for the animations. We're getting animations. I mean, think about 10 years ago. Who would think we'd be getting the animations we're getting? Because, especially since some of the older animations didn't sell well, you know, I kind of figured Moonbase would have been our last one, especially when they didn't even animate Underwater Menace. And here we are, just a few years later, from 2016 to now. You know, we've gotten Power of the Daleks animated twice. Macroterra, Faceless Ones. We actually have a complete version of Shada, which I love, by the way. I love Shada. I'm so happy they did that. So for people like me, I can't just listen to the audios, like the audios for stories. Since that's not the medium they were created to be watched or listened to, I can't listen to an audio CD of Macroterra. I wouldn't enjoy it, and my mind just wouldn't. So actually being able to experience these stories in a visual format really has, excuse me, been a blessing for me, because it's given me a chance to experience Doctor Who stories I've never seen. I'd never seen the Macroterra, and I absolutely love the Macroterra. You know, I've never got to see Fury from the Deep, and while, you know, I have issues with the animation, I'm still happy I had a chance to experience the story, because it is a really good story. You know, I've got to experience the Faceless Ones. I got to, excuse me, I got to experience Shada. I've never seen Shada, any form of Shada before. I've never read Shada. I've never heard Shada. So I finally got to experience Shada, which is one of my favorite Doctor Who stories now. I absolutely love Douglas Adams. I love his style of wit. I love Tom Baker in that story. I'm a huge fan of City of Death, so it's nice to see a lot of that in Shada. So the animations have been a blessing. We have more on the way. We have, between rumor and confirmed, 4 animations that it looks like we're getting. With Web of Fear getting, episode 3 getting animated, Abominable Snowmen, Evil of the Daleks. News about Galaxy 4 finally getting another Hartnell possibly. Very nice. How many other franchises get this kind of love? How many franchises get these kind of deluxe box sets? Missing stories getting animated since the audio soundtrack survived. Think of the hardcore Doctor Who fans from the 60s who recorded these audio soundtracks. My goodness. I was very sad when I learned Graham Strong had passed away. I really wish I would have had an opportunity to shake that man's hand, because some of his Doctor Who audio recordings from the 60s are of such good quality, since he did wire his microphone directly into his TV, which don't do, that's very dangerous. I would have loved to have had a chance to tell him thank you. He passed in 2018. So, how many think of that. Those are diehard fans from the 60s. You know, Doctor Who fans are very dedicated. We have a very dedicated fan base. And a lot of those fans are people who grew up with the show who work on these now. People who do the behind the scenes. People who do the animations. They are, you know, people who run the new shows. You know, Chibnall was a Doctor Who fan. Moffat was a Doctor Who fan. Russell was a Doctor Who fan. So they all want to try to put tender loving care, to one degree or the other with Chibnall, I guess, into the show. Let's see, even the great thing about Doctor Who is so many eras of Doctor Who are different. And if there's one era of Doctor Who you don't care for, there's always another era of Doctor Who you can. Like, for instance, if you're not a fan of the Whittaker era, it's not going to be here forever. Eventually, we will get a new Doctor in. Eventually, we will get a new showrunner in. And maybe the show will go in a direction you like more. I mean, it could go in a direction you like less. One never knows, but it could get better. The Doctor Who really is, more than any other television show ever made, a show that the whole just premise of the story lends itself to change and to evolving and to renewing itself and to regenerating, if you will. It's built into the core pillars of the show. The Doctor can regenerate. The TARDIS can regenerate. The companions come and go. So more than any other show, it can run for such a long time because every actor is replaceable. Every writer is replaceable. The showrunner is replaceable. And because the whole show is built around traveling through time and through space, the show itself can do so many different things. Doctor Who can be so many genres. You can have a Western. You can have a horror story. You can have a Victorian piece. You can have a base under siege and a space station underwater, or a space station underwater, a station underwater, or a station out in space, or a spaceship. I think I have bronchitis. There are so many different things you can do with a TV show that lets you travel anywhere at any time. You want a horror story? I can show you some Doctor Who stories for that. Go watch Blink. Go watch Horror of Fang Rot. Which, I am working on that Horror of Fang Rot walkthrough. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I gotta watch the other 2 episodes, but I am working on it. If you want to see something on a pirate ship, go watch Carnival of Monsters. Okay, that's not a pirate ship, but there's a ship in it, and Carnival of Monsters is just a really good story as well. You want to see an alien invasion? Go watch the Pertwee Era. You want to see a base under siege story? Go watch the Troughton Era. You want to see something kind of like the Borg from Star Trek? Go watch something with the Cybermen. You want to see a Western? Town Called Mercy, or the Gunfighters, but don't watch the Gunfighters. So there are so many different genres. Doctor Who lends itself to change so readily that I think most people can find an era they like. I don't get some of these people that just give up on the show the way they have. Like, I still watch Doctor Who. I mean, the Whittaker era is probably my least favorite era of Doctor Who. But I recently just did a video talking about why I thought Series 12 was underrated, because there are several episodes in Series 12 I liked. It was Series 11 I have issues with, although Series 12, the finale is terrible. But that being said, I literally, my point I was making just went right out of my head. The show lends itself to change, and the Whittaker era is not always going to be around. I cannot remember the point I was trying to make. My brain is a little addled today. I'm really annoyed. I forgot what I was trying to say. The point is that Doctor Who is not going anywhere. It's going to be around. It's not going to be canceled. The point I was trying to make. You see these people. I had somebody do this in one of my videos the other day. I think it was when I was talking about Series 12 and why I liked it. And I see these in a lot of Doctor Who videos. The people who do the R.I.P. Doctor Who 1963 through 2017. You will never see me do that in the comments. I'm never going to be somebody who does the R.I.P. Doctor Who 1963 to 2017. Because I still watch Doctor Who. Even the Whittaker era, I still watch it. I don't like a lot of the episodes in it. I like some of the episodes in it. But there's no era of Doctor Who that has, I just like every episode. I mean, every Doctor has at least one episode that I'm not keen on. Just like every Doctor has at least one episode I love. But I still watch the show. I still have faith in the show. I have faith that it will get better. I have a feeling, I have faith that the next Doctor could be better. The next showrunner could be better. I stick with the show because I love the show. I do a whole channel basically about Doctor Who. I obviously love Doctor Who. Because, anytime I see somebody do that, rip Doctor Who 1963 to 2017, I'm like, well, just because the show is different, Doctor Who is built on change. I mean, that would be like me saying rip Doctor Who 1966 to 1969 because the Pertwee era is so different from Troughton and Hartnell's eras. Yeah, I mean, because think about it, the Pertwee era is very different. It's very land-based, very much invasion stories and stuff. But you know what? The Pertwee era is amazing. It's probably the most consistently good Doctor era there is, of just a whole Doctor looking at his whole run. Probably the most consistently good era just objectively that's ever been. But Pertwee's era is still different than every other Doctor because he's land-based on Earth. He's locked on Earth pretty much most of his run. But I'm not going to sit here and go rip Doctor Who 1963 to 1969. Or these people who do the rip Doctor Who, 1963 to 1989, because I like Modern Who as well. I'm not one of these people that just like Classic Who. I love Modern Who. Modern Who has some great stories in it. I think people who don't watch the Modern series are doing themselves a disservice, because there's so many good stories in the Modern series. And go watch the Library two-parter. Go watch Dalek. Dalek's phenomenal. Go watch the Gas Mask two-parter. Go watch pretty much anything by Stephen Moffat in the Russell T Davies era. Goodness. They're all good. Madame de Pompadour, great episode. So I'm never going to be one of those people who gives up on Doctor Who, because obviously the people who make the Doctor Who, especially a lot of the other stuff, still have their hearts and souls in it. Think about it. We had the Time Lord Victorious crossover. Now, I don't know how well that did financially. I'm not in the know on that. I'm in the States. I'm not in the UK. I don't know if that was considered a success or not. But to have such a large brand crossover tie-in between comics and audios, records, between all books, all the different kind of tie-ins that Time Lord Victorious has, that's a massive undertaking. And there had to be some money put into that project. And they wouldn't have done it if they didn't think they weren't, if they thought they weren't going to make money off of it. So to get something like that, we're still getting Big Finish audios. We are constantly getting new Big Finish stories. They're still doing Big Finish, and Big Finish is still hugely popular. I actually own Jubilee, and I love it. I wish they sold more of the audio CDs here in the States, like in stores. That would be great. They don't really do that here, because I'd love to listen to a lot more of them. I'd love to get more into the Big Finish audios. I do want to listen to more of those. But we still get comic books. We still get books. The Doctor Who, as a franchise, is fine. Doctor Who is not going anywhere anytime soon, because the BBC knows that even if there are a lot of people who aren't keen on the current era, and viewing numbers reflect that, they know that they can change the show. They can change the companions. They can change the Doctor. They can change the writers. They can change the showrunner. And the show can rebuild itself, because no show lends itself to rebuilding just completely from the ground up, basically, as well as Doctor Who does. It's built around that concept. So Doctor Who is not going anywhere. So as Doctor Who fans, we know that our franchise is going to be here, especially with the 60th only 2 years away from the time of doing this video. They know the 60th is going to be a big year. They're going to make lots of money that year. And the BBC, like most capitalist companies, they're in the business to make money. That's what they do. They want the money. And Doctor Who is a money-making machine, I'm sure. Maybe not the way it was during like the Russell T Davies era and the Matt Smith era, because I don't see as much Doctor Who merchandise around here as I used to. It used to be all over the place. Barnes & Noble, all that. It's not as big now. But again, that can change. If they bring in a doctor that people really connect with, they bring in a showrunner that really, really pays attention to what he's doing and really puts the effort to make a good show, brings in the writers that are actually good writers, the show can bounce back. It can. I firmly believe it can bounce back, be just as popular as it was 10 years ago. It can happen. Doctor Who can renew itself like that. So I am letting you know that in 2021, I am still happy to be a Doctor Who fan. I am excited about the animations that we are getting. I am excited about getting Season 24 in, because there are 2 stories in Season 24 I have never seen. I'm looking forward to seeing those. Plus, to have Dragonfire in as close to HD as it can get, I am excited about. I'm looking forward to seeing all those behind-the-scenes materials. When we get Season 24 in, we will be a third of the way through the Classics collections, if you account for a Wilderness box set as well. We will be a third of the way through. That is hard to believe, a third of the way through. Who would have thought we'd be there by now? And they look so good on a shelf together. I am excited about Series 13 because, I'm not one of these people that tries to be pessimistic in general, but I'm not about Series 13. I am going to give Series 13 a chance. Who knows? It could completely spin me around. It could actually make me really like the 13th Doctor. I am optimistic it can happen. And if not, there is the rumor that Jodie might be leaving after Series 13. We might get a brand new Doctor in there who's the next Tom Baker, the next David Tennant, for some people, the next Peter Capaldi. Who knows? I'm excited to find out. I love being a Doctor Who fan. I'm happy to be a Doctor Who fan in 2021. I am sticking by my show because I know my show will survive and it will continue. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. Anything you would like to say about my video, your thoughts on it, please comment down below. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. I love to hear your thoughts on things. That's one of the reasons I make these videos. I love interacting with y'all. I've also started a Patreon page. There's a link to that down below. My entry level is only $2 a month. So if you would like to contribute to what I do and you like what I do, check that out. It only takes a minute. Most importantly, though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.